Janet, on occasion, and they're coming right for me. Don't worry, these are my squigs. So, as you can see, I'm playing as the Greenskins in another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. So, I got two lots of squigs here. I'm against the Dwarfs. I've always got to start showing off the squigs because they're squigs and they're amazing. So, over here, though, bulk of my army. I got 4 lots of Savage Orcs, 2 on each side for flanking. A couple of units of Trolls, always just great shock damage, and, you know, sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. They're great for, you know, regeneration and stuff, so they can always come back into the fight. It's really useful. And yeah, then I've also got a front line of 4 lots of Black Orcs, which is pretty tough. I've also got the Orc Shaman, mainly because I wanted to use the Foot of Gork on some Dwarves, because they think they're safe from magic, but, you know, it's only, what is it, like, hang on a minute. I know I'm not supposed to be showing you these guys yet, but... so yeah, they have magic resistance, but it's only 25%, and 25% of so much damage is still quite a lot of damage. So, you know, Foot of Gork will still do a hell of a lot of damage to a dwarf. So, they're just not used to watching out for it. And I've got an Orc War Boss in the air there on his Wyvern, because, you know, he can cause terror on that Wyvern, nice and manoeuvrable. And although I've got to worry about ranged fire, I don't have to worry too much about, you know, other flying units. So, I tend to think it's fairly safe in this kind of matchup, because, you know, he can get away, and that terror is just lovely. So, I'm going to speed things up while I go through this, because there's a lot of maneuvering and stuff, because I spot this absolute thing. So 2 lots of hammerers in the forests here. Very tough units, these hammerers. But he's using them to defend his organ guns. He's got 2 lots of organ guns that are obstructed by trees. And like none of this is hidden, so there's not going to be an ambush on me. I'm just going to see it and go for it, which is exactly what I do. Which I find quite bizarre. And also, hammerers are so expensive. Why would you have them guard this? All I have to do is send something that, you know, hammerers aren't particularly strong against, and this entire thing is breached. So that's tough. Over here, though, he's got 3 lots of Thunderers in the front line, and he's got an absolute... he has a lot of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. So I'm trying not to swear. I don't like to swear on this channel, so, you know, trying to keep it PG-13. So a farm ton of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. And he's also got some Iron Drakes, which is very cool. The fire is actually good against trolls, things like that, and you know, if I've got just an absolute horde of Savage Orcs or something, it can just kill, like, you know, hundreds of them in a single hit, which is great. But, you know, rare that you'll get the chance to really capitalise on Iron Drakes. They are a, you know, quite an awkward unit to use. And he's also got Ungrim, so, you know, I've been taking my time talking about all this stuff a bit, because it takes so long to posture up everything. Because, so I decide here, I'm just going to swarm in with my Savage Orcs and my Trolls. Because that way the hammerers armor piercing isn't going to help them at all, and you know, they've got pretty good armor themselves, but you know, I've got good armor piercing on the trolls, and I've got the physical resistance on the Savage Orcs, which will negate a lot of that huge damage they can do. So I think just swarming them with, you know, this stuff is great. Also, I send in my squigs for some shock damage, and that should, yeah, be able to overwhelm them quite happily. And then these lot, I've still got all these Black Orcs to send at them, and a couple units of Savage Orcs to back them up, and my Spellcaster. So, you know, not a huge line, but if they blow up at all, try and fight me. Foot of Gork. Brilliant. So here we come in. You can see, you know, these 2 units. So the Trolls come in, do a little bit of damage on the charge here. You know, it's whittling them down. I'm not taking a lot, though, so I'm winning this engage already just with 1 unit of Trolls, which cost half as much as a unit of Hammerers. So that's a bit unfortunate for them. Also, both of these organ guns have been shut down by squigs, and now I've also got the Savage Orcs running in to back up my Trolls. And yeah, more squigs coming in the back. It's a mess. Here, though, start taking some Thunderer fire. I decided to bring in my my Orc War Boss over here, try and help terror things. I think I bring them back this way. But yeah, so I bring in these squigs from the side to come this way. They're trying to back them up with these guys over that way, but that battle's going to be done before they get there. So, yeah, I'm using my squigs to help disrupt these guys a bit. Oh, I actually switched to the Dwarf Warriors, because these guys are going to hit, you know, this blob pretty soon anyway. So, I sent my Savage Orcs just down the middle somewhere. I was going to choose where I wanted them to go later. But yeah, so flames start coming in. Doing a fair bit of damage, actually, but, you know, I'm taking a lot of damage from the Thunderer fire on those Black Orcs. Those squigs are getting decimated, but I don't quite mind. And here's the Foot of Gork! And, yeah, it knocked over a lot of guys, but it didn't really do much damage. But, it was worth trying. There just wasn't really a dense enough group to do that on, I don't think. But, you know, it definitely knocks them all over, and now they're all fighting Black Orcs, so I'd say that went pretty well. Also, I decided to attack the Iron Drakes a bit with my Wyvern, but I wanted to get my Wyvern in here so I can use War, and, was it Stand Your Ground, the other one? Either way, I wanted to pop his abilities with my guys, so I could crumble these guys quicker. And as you can see, you know, a lot of this line is now terrified and running. Oh, no, they're just broken now, because they charged through. And now, you know, those Thunderers got dealt with, and I lost half a unit of Trolls there. Yeah, half a unit, a couple of Trolls. My Savage Orcs barely got touched. So, yeah, not worth that. That was not worth it. They just allowed me to choose whatever I wanted to take them on with. You know, yeah, it's a waste of Hammerers, I'm afraid. You know, those Hammerers could have done great in the front line fighting Savage Orcs. Not Savage Orcs, Black Orcs. They could have just crunched through that armor brilliantly. But yeah, they didn't get the chance because I just moved my Black Orcs in a completely different direction. So yeah, when you're playing as the Dwarves, you're not mobile enough to be able to have units out like that. Because, you know, as soon as I went, oh, I have units that could deal with that really easily, and sent them over this way, you know, I moved the rest of my army in here, knowing that that would be wrapped up nice and tidily, because, you know, I got to pick my most advantageous engage, and he didn't have time to reshuffle, like, especially with artillery there. He couldn't just pull them back and send some others across to deal with that. You know, you've got to be cohesive, like one cohesive unit as the Dwarfs. You can't have people on their own, because people will just go, alright, I'll use that thing that's best against that unit that's on its own. You know, get rid of that and then worry about the rest of the army. So it's just far too risky. If it was, you know, if over there, like, if it was like, you know, Chaos, right? And then you had some Marauder Horsemen in there. You know, ones that could, yes, they could harass and stuff, you know, or run out the trees and attack me from behind. That would be useful, but as it stood, he needed that artillery shooting at me, so he couldn't have them hidden. So I was obviously going to send my best, you know, my best chances of defeating them nice and quickly at them. And obviously the Trolls just performed brilliantly against the Hammerers. So I just threw them in, won the fight. You know, I was able to pick the fight that way. And you never want the enemy to be able to pick and engage with you, you know? So, yeah, really unfortunate. Because, you know, if he did have organ guns hidden in there and I charged in and they started shooting me in the rear, my god, that would have been insane. But that wasn't going to happen, you know? I mean, I saw them straight away. So that was a real pity. I mean, you know, fair enough, he was just trying it. You know, maybe he thought they were hidden. Maybe he didn't realise. Because that would have been absolutely awesome. Like having a, you know, dwarf spring an ambush like that. Like a load of hammerers charging out, you know, with organ guns. Giving them, you know, sort of some covering fire just into the back of all my units. It would have been phenomenally cool. But you just can't execute that with the dwarves. Then just, yeah, that just didn't work. I mean, if we look here, 0 kills with the organ guns. That's such a huge investment. Here, 5 and 7 kills with the hammerers. I don't think they killed any trolls. Actually, maybe a couple. Although I think it might have been Ungrim that took them down. But, yeah, yeah, that was mainly Savage Orcs, and that is not good for, you know, units that expensive. These are what, 550? These are like 1200, something like that. So yeah, really, yeah, that was a real shame. He just let me use my best units, and you should never do that as a dwarf. You know, if those were in the front line fighting Black Orcs, my Black Orcs would have been just buckled. It would have been amazing. But yeah, it was a real waste. So guys, don't split up your dwarves. Okay, they got to stay as one rock. You know. But yeah, I thought it was an entertaining one anyway, just because, you know, see the squigs bounce around and, you know, these solid front lines, and yeah, it just shows if you want to take out hammerers, well, you know what to do now, right? Just throw a couple trolls at them, they won't know what to do. So that's fantastic. You know, really good way to show that off, to be honest. Because usually when you've got a big bull against a big bull of enemy, you know, they just crash and you can't really tell what is getting the best engage on what all the time. But in matches like this, it just, you know, it shows very clearly what is good against what. So so I thought it was worth showing you guys, even if it was a bit one-sided. I thought it was still quite cool, and it definitely highlights a few bits. So yeah, next one hopefully will be a bit closer. But or, you know, I might lose the next one. Who knows? You know, I never know how this is going to go. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys.